Occasional guest star Alfie is back with us for a few days. Do you want to come for a walk? No, I didn't think so. Just you and me, Harris. Come on then. It's 5:30 in the morning and I've been woken up by squabbling foxes in my next door neighbour's garden. Do you remember that ash tree which had ash dieback that I identified in the last video, and then you saw the chaps cutting it down? Well, that's all that remains of it. Harris just walking over its grave. Yeah, it got taken down for the sake of all the other healthy ash trees, and what was left behind was this. I'm just going to have a look, see if there were any ash branches that might be suitable for walking sticks. So let's have a quick look. Nothing's jumping out at me here. Ash isn't the best one to use because you don't really get those nice Y-shaped tops for the walking sticks. Well, it's decided to rain now, and rain quite heavily. So I'm hiding under an oak tree. My God, that's really coming down now. Yeah, I think we'll stay here for a couple of minutes. Well, I assume it'll stop in a minute. If anything, it seems to be getting greyer. Why are you standing out in the rain? Come under the tree. You're an idiot. This is one of the signs that you find at all the different entrances to Whma Fields. But I'm not interested in the front because there's something weird happening on the back. There's a bizarre number of flies all just sitting on the back of this sign. I just assume it's warm and it's catching the sun. That's an attractive green beetle, but my God, he's obviously spent some hours in bug gym. Look at those thigh muscles. I'm having an interesting time identifying all the yellow flowers today. 3 different but similar looking wildflowers here. We've got dandelion, we've got hawksbeard, and just a little bit further along this wall, we've got this cute little yellow flower here, which is nipplewort. Unfortunate name, but yes, nipplewort. And yet another yellow flower. This is sow thistle. It doesn't really look much like the others, I know, but when the flowers are open, it sort of does. But that's sow thistle. And this little yellow flower has a brilliant name of biting stonecrop. That's biting stonecrop there. Pineapple weeds coming up everywhere now, loads of it. Wherever I go, along the edges of the roads. Seems to like these sort of verges, along with white clover. Well, the flowers on this one are diddy. I think it might be purslane, but I'm not sure. I'm going to look this one up. Okay, it's now the next day. There's even more flies because they've started colonising the front as well. Look at them all. It must be because it's warm. I can't think what else the reason would be. Bizarre. Oh, we've had the sun and the rain this week and the cold. Now we've got the wind. Now we've got the wind. And there's quite a lot of it. Well, today couldn't be a more different day to yesterday. The wind has gone, the rain has gone, the sun's come out. It's really rather bright and lovely. Although I'm being a bit dapply at the moment because I'm under some oak trees, but I should come out into the sunlight in a second. So yeah, it's a very nice day today. Well, it's the first jacket-free walk of 2024. Could it be that summer's here? When there's so many bees on the bramble flowers, you can actually hear the collective buzz, the hum. That's a really healthy sign. And God knows we need a lot more of it. It's Lords and Ladies, Cuckoo Point, whatever you want to call it. It's going to seed now. See those tall arum lily flowers have now turned into these clusters of berries, which are poisonous. They'll go bright red very soon. But the birds like them. Beautiful pollen-laden elderflowers that I'm trying to capture here on my zoom clip-on lens for my camera, for my phone. Look at it, beautiful, isn't it? Even without the zoom lens, it's still very pretty. It's frothy, isn't it? It's frothy. You just know it's going to make a nice fizzy drink. Wild strawberries galore. We're going to have some of these. They're so cute and delicious. Well, this spear thistle continues to grow, and those thistles are deadly. Look at them. Amazing. Lots of flower heads on here though. It's going to be amazing when this one bursts out. And just to show you, it really is as tall as I claimed it was in the last video. Here's me getting my back prickled, and trust me, I am not bending my knees. It really is well over 6 foot tall. Well, that's a 7 foot fence it's up against. It's not far from the top, 3 or 4 inches. There's a row here of lime trees, or linden trees if you prefer, that were planted to mark the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. And actually young lime leaves are quite tasty. Got to check them for aphids first, because aphids really do like this lime leaves. Quite pleasant, very nice. I could eat that in a salad quite happily. What I'm really waiting for though is these seeds to come along later in the year, because you can use those to make a kind of chocolate. Now what you see here is the first start of it. Can you see there's a long white leaf there, or a light pale coloured leaf? That's a helicopter type leaf, but only one blade. And those little bubbles on the end, they will get much bigger and green. If you take them home, dry them out, grind them up, mix them with oil and some sweetener, you get something very approximating chocolate. Of course, it's not really chocolate. Not chocolate anyway, it's a chocolate substitute. But I have tasted it once and I thought it was actually quite pleasant. And chocolate varies a lot anyway. I mean, if you've ever had British Cadbury's chocolate, which is the one that we all grew up with, which I think is absolutely delicious, it tastes nothing like American Hershey chocolate, which I find pretty ghastly and more like a sort of candy than a chocolate. But then if you go to Switzerland and taste what the Swiss chocolatiers turn out, it's different again. But of course, the one thing they all have in common is they use the beans from the cocoa plant. You know, it uses cocoa beans, and it generally uses dairy as well. Whereas Linden chocolate doesn't use any dairy whatsoever, and it's suitable for vegans and vegetarians. So I'm going to make some this year, not because I'm a vegan or a vegetarian, because I'm neither of those things, but to see if I can do it, and to see if I can create my own little sweet treat, again using what nature's providing. And it's not so weird when you think about it. What's the difference between pulling linden seeds off a lime tree or cocoa pods off a cocoa tree? There's no difference, is there really? You are so noisy. You shouldn't have run around with that labradoodle. You're not designed for speed. You were designed to cuddle up to Chinese emperors. First fresh berries of 2024 on the Guelder Rose, the viburnum. And they'll soon swell up and fatten up, and the birds will love them. Humans can eat them too, although they're better cooked rather than raw, because they can upset your tummy and they are a bit bitter. But they go in jams, okay. Ooh, is that what I think it is? It bloomin' well is. Ah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is crow garlic. I mean, it's not a rare plant, don't get me wrong, this is not rare at all, but I've never seen it growing anywhere around here before. Can you see the sort of papery outside of it, a bit like you get on a bulb garlic? Wow, I have never seen crow garlic growing around here. That's amazing. Some of that is definitely coming home with me. There's a lovely saying from ancient Greece that says, "A society grows great when old men plant trees under whose shade they'll never sit." And you know, I was just looking at these oak trees that are in this meadow. These were all planted in the 1970s and early 80s by people, most of which aren't here anymore. They don't get the benefit of being able to sit in the shade of that tree. But they did it anyway. They did it for the environment. They did it for the people of their village, their town. They did it for future generations. And that seems to be something we've lost now. When I think back to the great Edwardian and Victorian philanthropists, you know, I'm struck by the fact that these people made a lot of money from their various businesses. Okay, I realise some of that money came from slightly dodgy sources, you know, or very dodgy sources like slavery. But nevertheless, they made a lot of money and they threw it back into their communities. They funded hospitals, they funded schools, you know, they funded scientific research, they built social housing for their workers. They did all of these things with their money. And now I look at the billionaires we've got now, people who earn more money than all those Victorian millionaires put together earned in their entire lifetimes. And what do? They spaff it all on building space rockets so they can go up into orbit, look out the window and go, "Ooh, isn't it blue?" And it just makes me so cross. But the point is this, the mega rich, the people who have so much money they can't possibly spend it in their lifetimes, could be clubbing together and could fix all the ills of the world. They could level up the playing field so that no one starves, that everyone's got a roof over their head, you know, that everyone has access to medical care. It just needs the kindness and the will. It's all completely possible. I have honeybees buzzing all around my head, and I couldn't be happier to see them. So I'm walking through a part of the woods I don't normally walk through. That is an extraordinary tree. It looks like it must be dead. It's an oak, but look at it. It's quite monumental, isn't it? Whereas that is a magnificent oak. Look at that beauty. That is gorgeous. This is a walk I don't do often enough. It's really rather pretty, this little bit of woodland. And it is literally right behind my house. But I normally head for the big meadows and walk around there. I think maybe because there's the constant noise of traffic. Just beyond all these trees there, there's houses and then there's a main road. So that's probably the main reason. What I should do is just film this and then dub some music over the top. You can't hear all the bloody cars and helicopters and motorbikes and everything else that go to ruin the rural idyll. But it's got to be said, there are some amazing trees here. Some amazing trees. It's beautiful. You're just getting a glimpse of the traffic there through the trees now, look. So the rural idyll has come to an end. Bless you. Someone's just sneezing in the distance. But hey, it's a nice walk. And I'm on my way into the village to the local Turkish Barbers. It's that time again. It's the summer solstice today and midsummer's day, so as the weather's getting warmer, time for my annual haircut. So here we go. So there you go, I am Sean. That's my annual haircut done. Now all I've got to do is grow it back again. See you in the next video. Toodle-pip. If you've enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing. Or click on some of these links to look at some of the other videos on the channel. Or press the like button. Or leave a comment. It would be lovely to hear from you. Any combination of those four things would be wonderful. Thank you very much.